I've learned to wait about 10 seconds to start talking because it seems that if I start talking right away on these lives, it cuts off a few words, and then you're like, "What did he say?" So, I'm just, I guess it's just a follow up from earlier. I got my selfie. I call it's a selfie stick tripod because look, you can use it as a tripod, right? And but it's also you can close this, and it's a handle. See, tripod part is a handle, and it can be a selfie stick as well. So that's why I call it selfie stick tripod, because it really is. It also came with a little remote control USB thingy where it will just like you hit the button and it takes a picture. Remember those old little. They used to sell those at like Ocean State Job Lot or probably other places, but that's usually where I see them. Um, but one of those remotes came with this thing. I think it's downstairs in the basement, but we'll see. Here it is. Here's the test. I'm going to see if the spring part still works and if it still holds my phone up. Now, my phone is actually almost too thick to fit in the thing. That's what he said. Oh, look. And look. It works. Yay. Yeah, there it is. So as long as I don't knock this thing over again, it will probably still work, and I won't. I'm glad I didn't lose the springs though, because it fell and literally. I mean, if one of the springs had rolled underneath the shed or something, I wouldn't have found it, and I would have been out. I would have had to go buy a new tripod selfie stick, but fixed. Yeah, it works. Here, see? Maybe I'll go one pass with the lawnmower. What do you say? Comparatively. time to empty out that bag. So yeah, the selfie stick thing still works. Jesus, Deadpool, don't. It's all fun. Don't trip. It's all fun and games until someone gets dismembered. Yeah, but at least it's got the safety, right? You know, once you let go of that handle, it shuts off. Plus, this is an electric one. I think if it hit my leg, it would just stop. It would be there's not no gasoline powered motors here. But no, you're right. I mean, don't stick your hand down below the deck when it's running. That's always it's always a bad idea. Um, and try not to hit any giant rocks. I mean, I've had I don't know how many when I was younger, how many times I freaking cracked a blade or bent the shit out of that blade of my parents' old lawnmower. Oh boy. And then it just never really worked well afterwards, you know. But yeah, this was just a follow up. I was cleaning up the yard earlier and I knocked over my selfie stick and the part that holds the cell phone like exploded. Um, and then I fixed it. I took a look at it and I was like, oh, put the springs back in, boom, it's working. You know, the only thing I hate is that I have to take my case off when I do it. You know what I mean? Because with the case, my phone doesn't fit. But there it is, all fixed. I mean, I did have to put the screws through the the soft backing thing, but that's also helping to hold the screws in a little bit, you see. So, hey, you know, if I drop it again and the screws blow through those holes again, I probably won't be able to fix it unless I put some sort of, you know, uh, a washer or something on there. But then, then it's going to get really heavy. No, not that heavy, but you use a plastic washer, I guess. Anyway, so I'm going to continue doing this without distraction because I do have other things to do today. Nice seeing you, Captain Deadpool. Anyone else that stops by to look at this, hello, thanks, subscribe, like. Before the end of the summer, I'd like to get to 250 subs. I started July at 201. I'm up to 221. So, 20 subs in a month where I haven't really done a whole lot of live streaming isn't bad, So I'd like to get 29 more or even more, if I get to 300. If I get to 500 by the end of you know, by the end of August, that would be like a miracle. But I would love to get to 500 by the end of the year so that maybe next year I could possibly start doing some monetization, and maybe really starting to hit this thing hard. But we'll see. It also depends on how it works out with my life and all that stuff. Because, I tend to get a little, I tend to get a little lost in the weeds when I start doing this too much. So we'll see. But if I was making money, then I mean, it doesn't seem so bad that I'm getting lost in the weeds. At least it's lost in that weed and not the smoking weeds. You know what I mean? See how it all works out. Anyway, later. Take it easy. I gotta finish my stuff up, and this is too distracting.